Tonight, RCMP charge a man with manslaughter over a woman's shooting death near Weyburn. Hospital parking fees for cancer patients up for discussion at the legislature. And the best men's curlers in the country returning to Saskatchewan in 2027.
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. Lee is away tonight. After an investigation that spanned nearly 6 weeks, RCMP have made an arrest in the case of a woman who was fatally shot under bizarre circumstances back in early September. It happened on a highway just outside of Weyburn. Jacob Carr has the latest on the investigation and the new charges.
Chris Fallman appeared in Saskatchewan Provincial Court on Monday morning, facing 4 charges, including manslaughter, careless use of a firearm, carrying a weapon for the purpose of committing an offense, and occupying a vehicle knowing there is a firearm inside. As the investigation is still in its early stages, the RCMP does not have many details to share at this time.
The specifics of the investigation that was done will be a matter that has to be determined in court. Our investigators did work diligently to ensure that they were taking care of all of the investigative tasks that would lead us to the person responsible for this offense.
The Saskatchewan Major Crimes Branch confirms that Fallman allegedly discharged a firearm that struck 2 vehicles on Highway 39 near Weyburn on September 12th. They're also explaining the reasoning behind some of the charges.
The simplified explanation is, as you said, intent. Murder has an intent behind it, whereas manslaughter does not necessarily carry that intent. So the other charges that were laid in addition were done so in consultation with our Crown Counsel.
The Saskatchewan Realtors Association confirms that Fallman was a business partner of the association and has since had his contract terminated due to these charges. The Weyburn Police Service also releasing a statement to CTV News, saying on behalf of the Weyburn Police Service, we are glad the investigation by the RCMP has led to an arrest and can only hope, pending the outcome of court proceedings, that the family can have some closure to such a senseless and tragic incident. After Fallman's brief virtual appearance in court on Monday, Judge James Corpin adjourned the proceedings to Tuesday morning at 9:30. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
Regina police have opened a death investigation after a man's body was found early Saturday morning. It happened at a home on the 1000 block of 12th Avenue shortly after 1 a.m. November 1st. The investigation is in its early stages and no other information is being released at this point, including the victim's name. Anyone with information is asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers. The trial of a Saskatoon massage therapist accused of sexual assault got underway today. 69-year-old Kenneth Braun is being tried on 6 counts of sexual assault. The alleged incidents happened between 2010 and 2021, while Braun was a massage therapist. 14 jurors are expected to hear evidence over the course of the 3-week trial. A publication ban is now in place on all evidence to protect the integrity of Braun's second jury trial, set for next month, where Braun faces 4 additional sexual assault charges. A Saskatoon judge ordered the family of Megan Gallagher to turn their shirts inside out during a manslaughter trial last month, deciding that the messaging on the clothing could potentially influence the jury. CTV's Laura Woodward explains.
On the 3rd day of a Saskatoon manslaughter trial, the judge ordered the victim's family to turn these sweaters inside out, hiding the words Megan Gallagher murdered but not forgotten from the jury. Roderick Sutherland was found guilty of manslaughter. With the verdict delivered, publication bans on proceedings that took place outside of the jury's presence, including the order for the family to remove their shirts, have now been lifted. Defense lawyer Blaine Bevan told the judge he was worried about the message on the sweaters and its potential influence on the jury.
They're seeing something on a shirt that says this is murder. Like, that's not what he's on trial for. And even if it said this is manslaughter, it's unlawful confinement, that's what he's on trial for. There shouldn't be outside influence. They have to focus on what the evidence is in the case and make their determination on that.
The judge sided with the defense and asked those wearing the sweaters to flip them inside out.
I was quite offended by it.
For 3 years, Gallagher's family has worn shirts with her picture while attending court proceedings for the 9 people charged in her death. Her father father, Brian Gallagher, sees no issue with the word murdered.
The earlier convictions had already told us that she was murdered. Personally, what I saw it was as a power play on Bevan's part.
Court heard Gallagher was tied to a chair, tortured, and died after plastic film was wrapped around her face. Stepmother Deb Gallagher said being told to hide her daughter's name was painful.
I think it was an insult to every woman who has been silenced.
Yeah.
It perpetuates the violence towards women. You know, like it was only Megan's. That's the only thing we have left of Megan is her pictures. When are the victims going to be seen in court? When are they going to be acknowledged as victims? Right, and respected.
Sutherland's sentencing hearing is scheduled next month. At that time, the Gallaghers are expected to make victim impact statements. Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The trial of a man accused of second-degree murder in the death of Misha Pavick is entering its third week. Pavick was fatally stabbed at a high school graduation party on May 21st, 2006, near Last Mountain Lake. The court heard from peers of Derek Enns, a man who intervened when Pavick was in an altercation that evening. One witness, Sean Hess, was a close friend of Pavick's, telling the court Pavick made it clear a fight was going to happen. As soon as it was known a group of uninvited people had shown up to the party. When a fight did break out, Hess said he pulled the accused off of Pavick. Another witness recalls seeing Pavick on the ground that evening, saying he was conscious, but it, quote, was a fight for his life. He was frantic and scared. The court continues tomorrow. We'll have more coming up. We're a few days out from Halloween now, but Regina police are asking you to keep an eye on your kids' Halloween candy after 2 incidents were reported in the city. A caller reported to police on Halloween they found a chocolate bar with a thin piece of metal inside, similar to a needle, after trick-or-treating in the Greens neighborhood. Now police say a second report of a similar incident in the Fairways West and Normanview neighborhoods came in. No one was hurt in either case, but as a precaution, police are asking residents to check Halloween candy. All right, Sabine Ahmed joins us now for our first look at weather. Sabine, you're dressed a little differently from the last time we saw you on Friday. So how do things look? Is it still going to be worth a couple extra layers, even if it's not a Slimer costume?
Well, yeah, I think especially as we're heading into the evenings, we will probably want to start to practice layering up, because if not today, for sure later on this week, Cole, we're going to start to see those temperatures really start to drop. Now, today, though, daytime highs we did see above average for many parts of the province, including right here in Regina. Actually, we warmed up to about 10 degrees. Didn't really have much in terms of active weather. Started out with a little bit of cloud cover, but for much of the day and for many parts of the province, we saw mostly sunny conditions. As you can see, our current temperatures, we're still sitting above zero, actually sitting quite nice with the temperatures. The average for this time of year for the daytime highs usually hover around about 4 or 5 degrees. Like I said, we got up to 10 degrees. But like I said also, could I say that one more time? It's going to start to cool down. I'll have more details coming up in your full forecast. Cole?
All right, thanks, Sabine. Well, the provincial government is committing $250 million in funding for Saskatchewan post-secondary education. The money will be distributed to universities, Sask Polytechnic, and regional colleges over the next 4 years. A funding agreement with the institutions was signed at a legislative building ceremony. It follows the recent layoff of more than 100 staff at Sask Polytech due to a 40% drop in international student enrollment. Sask Polytech says it's too early to determine whether some of the cuts can be reversed.
Although it doesn't totally bridge the gap with some of the federal and international changes that have taken place in the international student landscape, we are really appreciative of the funding that has been provided to us today.
On the right page. The NDP opposition is calling on the government to order reversal of those staffing reductions at Saskatchewan Polytechnic. Saskatchewan's Ministry of Environment says it's seeing more reports of sick or dead birds this fall due to avian flu. Signs of avian flu in wild birds include lethargy and weakness, poor coordination or tremors, unusual behavior like swimming in circles, and less reaction to people. The ministry says it's common to see cases of avian flu during the fall migration as birds congregate in large numbers before flying south. Young birds that lack immunity from the virus are especially vulnerable. Severely severely ill birds from avian flu, however, are not candidates for rehabilitation, but sightings can be reported to the Ministry of Environment. Well, many people have been enjoying pumpkin carving as an annual tradition for Halloween, but the question always remains of what should you do with it afterwards. Well, one initiative in Regina is providing a space for those looking to do something better than just letting the pumpkins go soggy on the porch. Sierra D'Souza Butts explains.
Families are enjoying their last chance to celebrate their creative pumpkin carvings.
We only did one as a family, but it's always a collective effort. The kids design it and draw it onto the pumpkin, and then we cut it out together.
Residents are dropping off their decorated pumpkins near the Saskatchewan Legislative Building, providing one final grand display for the decoratable works of art.
We could go out again tonight, even though we're a little bit tired, and enjoy all the pumpkins one more time together. And it's great to be out in the community and see friends and enjoy another nice evening together.
Over 600 pumpkins were on display this year, exhibiting numerous designs, both classic and inventive, from movie characters to sport team logos, where there was truly something for everyone. Pumpkin Way also featured a mini petting zoo organized by Fenwick Farms, who will be using the pumpkins as animal feed, leaving nothing to waste.
Actually, a couple programs in the city where we get some leftover produce from grocery stores, and I think that's what began it. We were thinking, what happens to all these pumpkins? There was people offering us their pumpkins, and so we decided to have a couple spots in the city where if you wanted to donate, you could drop off there and we'll come pick them up.
The wrap-up of Halloween festivities is not the only time Fenwick Farms offers their services. The family business says it also provides school field trips and birthday parties in an effort to provide different educational experiences to youth all year round. Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Regina.
Frost Festival is returning to Regina for its 5th year. The festival will take place over the first 3 weekends in February. Some of the new activities include Olympic-style games on Mosaic Stadium's concourse, Frozen the musical put on by the Globe Theatre, and brunches at the Connexus Arts Centre. Events are set to take place downtown at the Real District, Wascana Centre, and the Warehouse District. Don't worry, though, there will also be indoor activities, so you have a chance to warm up.
February is a slow month tourism-wise, so anything we can do to encourage people to come into Regina, have a meal here, enjoy some Frost activities is really good for the local community, local businesses, and good for everyone.
A full schedule of both free and ticketed activities will be coming out in the weeks ahead. Well, the last Saskatchewan Brier was one for the books, with Team Saskatchewan making it all the way to the final here in Regina. Now, organizers will be hoping for the same kind of electric atmosphere 2 years from now, when the event marks 100 years here in the province. Hallie Mandrick has the details.
A century of the Canadian men's Brier will be celebrated here in Saskatchewan.
That the 100th anniversary of the Brier, the 2027 Montana's Brier, will be held at the Sask Center here in Saskatoon.
Sask Center is set to host the best in men's curling from February 26th to March 7th in 2027. This will mark the 7th time hosting for Saskatoon, making the city the 3rd most frequent host behind Calgary and Toronto.
We break records when the Brier comes to Saskatoon. We know that curling runs deep in the lifeblood of the cities, and of course in rural Saskatchewan it is the beloved sport.
According to Discover Saskatoon, the event is expected to bring a significant financial boost to the city.
It will equal over $10 million of economic impact during the time frame that it's here. It's going to fill restaurants, taxis will be busy, our airplanes will be full. And so an event like this means that we are not only boosting the visitor economy, but the overall sense of pride of place in our city during that time.
Saskatoon has hosted the Brier 6 times, first in 1946 and most recently in 2012, with Team Ontario taking home the win. Other years included 1965, 1989, 2000, and 2004. Teams from Saskatchewan have won the Brier a total of 7 times, most recently in 1980. Those at Monday's announcement shared hope that home ice advantage will go a long way for Team Saskatchewan.
Perhaps 2027, the 100th anniversary of the Brier, will be a charm for Saskatchewan. The prairies are the heartland of curling in our country, and Saskatchewan fans love love to watch curling and participate in Brier Patch shenanigans. Curling is Saskatchewan's official sport, and we are very, very proud of that honor. Sorry, hockey.
Tickets for the 2027 Montana's Brier are set to go on sale in March of 2026. Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Still ahead, Ottawa braces for the federal budget set to be tabled tomorrow. Plus, a new market for some exports of Canadian canola log-jammed by Chinese tariffs. A Saskatchewan cancer patient is taking his fight for free hospital parking to the legislature. As Wayne Mantika reports, the government says the money goes towards maintenance and frontline health care.
Dennis Ogrodnik believes he should be fighting his cancer and not the government.
And let's eliminate all parking. BC has eliminated paid parking at hospitals. Quebec has never had it. Nova Scotia and New Brunswick have recently eliminated paid parking at their hospitals as well.
Cancer patients were provided free parking when Ogrodnik began treatment in Prince Albert a couple of years ago. The SHA withdrew the free parking partway through his treatment.
And all of a sudden, it was eliminated. And I'm thinking, who in their right mind that has any integrity, any empathy, would say, let's target cancer patients?
The government says parking fees go toward lot maintenance costs and frontline health care.
The revenue that comes in through parking for the Saskatchewan Health Authority, it's about half of that is the cost of running the parking infrastructure in the province, and then the other half goes right back into the Saskatchewan Health Authority operating budget, which again goes directly to patient care.
The NDP opposition is asking the province to reconsider.
We didn't hear any change from the government. Really disappointing to see. Saskatchewan cancer patients should not be paying for parking.
SHA parking fees can vary between facilities. It's even free in some smaller centers. The SHA is currently considering a standard parking policy. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
Turning from provincial to federal politics, the Prime Minister has warned Canadians that difficult choices and sacrifices will be needed due to American tariffs. As a result, deep cuts are expected as the Liberals prepare to table their budget tomorrow. Abigail Beeman has more.
In the pre-budget day new shoe buying tradition, the finance minister got hands-on at a factory, underlining build Canadian, buy Canadian.
The budget tomorrow is all about, it's an investment budget. It's a generational shift.
The government now only stressing investment.
C'est un budget d'austérité et d'investissement.
While in early September, Justin French, Mark Carney also said austerity. Late October, a reference to sacrifices.
We won't transform our economy easily or in a few months. It will take some sacrifices.
Pounced on by opposition.
All our young Conservatives are fighting for homes, jobs, and hope, and they refuse to sacrifice their future.
We will not support an austerity approach.
There will be big spending in that budget, which goes against, I think, the logic of austerity. So there is a kind of tension here.
Desjardins economists predict the deficit will hit $75 billion.
I don't think you can characterize a $75 billion deficit as an austerity budget or austerity deficit.
There are obviously unanswered questions about just what is getting cut. Public service jobs most discussed, and the government has also promised to maintain some big-ticket programs and spend more on defense.
Austerity will mean different things to different people, and those who are most impacted will see the austerity. You can see public servants who are going to be impacted will view this as an austerity budget. The unions will view this as an austerity budget.
The Liberals are just 3 seats shy of a majority, meaning they need some help from the opposition parties in order to pass this budget in the confidence vote ahead or risk heading to an election. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Meanwhile, the government is taking action against Jeep, Dodge, and Ram maker Stellantis over the company's decision to move production of the Jeep Compass to the United States. Here's CTV senior political correspondent Mike LeCouture on what it means.
Industry Minister Melanie Joly says today's action is based on the belief that automaker Stellantis did violate the billion-dollar contract signed with the federal government.
If you make promises and then walk away,
you will be held accountable.
A blunt message for Stellantis from the federal government. Before being questioned by a parliamentary committee, the industry minister said Ottawa is going after the car maker.
We'll start the 30-day period of the formal dispute resolution process in order to bring back production at the Stellantis Brampton facility.
In October, Stellantis announced it was moving production of its Jeep Compass from its Brampton, Ontario plant to Illinois. In response, the government capped how many vehicles Stellantis and GM can import tariff-free into Canada. Going to the dispute resolution process could be risky, according to this trade lawyer, because the automaker could play hardball.
I think what they would say is, look, Canada, if you really want to do this, take this approach, then, we might give you your money back and say goodbye to you.
And your government committed thousands, millions, and billions.
In a sometimes combative exchange, Conservative members of the parliamentary committee demanded to know if the contract with Stellantis spelled out job commitments in Brampton. The documents related to the building of the battery plant in Windsor, obtained by CTV News, clearly state Nexstar Energy and Stellantis committed to creating and maintaining 2,500 jobs at that plant. The contract for the Brampton plant has not been released.
She could have been very clear if her government made a 3,000 job commitment for Brampton or a broader Canadian footprint agreement. She was not clear on that. That tells me there isn't one.
Minister Joly told the committee the car plants in Windsor and Brampton are linked, as are the contracts. Adding MPs will be able to see that when the Brampton contract is presented at another committee. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
The Premier of BC says the province has abandoned plans for a series of anti-tariff ads aimed at American audiences.
We've committed to the federal government that when the time comes to be speaking directly to Americans, we'll do it in partnership with them. We will not be running the ads by ourselves. We'll make sure that we're in line with strategy going forward.
And BC's decision comes after an anti-tariff ad campaign by the Ontario government infuriated U.S. President Donald Trump, who then canceled trade talks with Canada. Canada and Pakistan have agreed to facilitate the export of Canadian canola to the South Asian nation. Ottawa has been looking to open new markets for the commodity after China announced preliminary anti-dumping duties on Canadian canola imports in August. Last year, Canada said it would impose a 100% tariff on imports of Chinese electric vehicles. Witnesses are recounting the moments when a man went on a stabbing spree on a UK train on Saturday, injuring 11 people.
And then everyone started shouting, he's got a knife, there's blood. We started running to the back of the train. But then I saw him climb the fence, the wooden fence, and start running right towards us. And then we decided to hide in a taxi, and the police came and detained him right in front of my eyes.
A van transported the suspect to court today. A 32-year-old man faces 11 counts of attempted murder. Police are investigating whether there's a link to 3 other recent attacks, including the stabbing of a 14-year-old. At least 20 people are dead after a powerful earthquake struck northern Afghanistan. That death toll is expected to rise as rescue efforts continue. The 6.3 magnitude quake struck near Mazar-e-Sharif, a large city that's home to about 500,000 people. The Taliban Health Ministry says hundreds were injured, and the event caused power outages across the country. After the break, your full forecast, plus a would-be destination wedding forced into a very different venue due to a hurricane.
Phone Saskatchewan Tuesday on your morning. The countdown to Telemiracle is on, and we are getting you excited with one of the stars of the show, Jeffrey Straker.
Welcome back. Let's check in to see what you can expect when it comes to your weather heading into this week. It's dark. It's dark out. Remember when the sun used to still be out? Okay, we won't talk about that. it's cooled down quite a bit, 2 degrees. Last hour we were sitting at about +6. Now we've dropped to 2. The daytime high for today in the Regina area was 10.2, so well above the average for this time of year. It's only going to get cooler as we continue into the rest of this week. Now, Regina didn't really see those strong wind gusts. Some parts of southern Saskatchewan, in particular areas in the parkland, did have those winds gusting up to about 60 late this afternoon. For Regina, the strongest wind gusts we did see come through were up to about 30, 35. So not too bad. Other than that, we didn't really have much in terms of active weather that came through either. That's going to change as we head into tomorrow. We will start to see some precipitation coming through southern Saskatchewan. So this is a look at what we've got going on this evening. Into tonight, we have more of that cloud cover rolling in, and then by tomorrow morning, you can see just that little pocket, mostly rain coming through parts of Assiniboia. Swift current could possibly clip through the Regina area, but right now it's looking mostly like rain. Now there is some mixed precipitation in there, which is closer to the Assiniboia area. That could be snow, freezing rain, a mix there. But then as that clears out, we're going to be left with mostly Tuesday looking like mainly clear conditions, and even heading into Tuesday night. Now it's not until we get into Wednesday morning or Wednesday afternoon that we see this band of precipitation, Wednesday evening that we see this band of precipitation come through. So we've got rain, we've got we'll eventually see it mix into snow overnight, Wednesday night into Thursday morning. So most of that turning primarily into snow and sticking further into the Lloydminster, Saskatoon, Wynyard area, Hudson Bay area. For Regina and southern Saskatchewan, we're going to see mostly rain come through. So by the time that system completely clears out, we're probably looking for southern Saskatchewan anywhere between 1 to 3 millimeters of rain. Swift current Assiniboia could see a little bit more, maybe 4 or 5 millimeters of rain. So that's the most that we're going to see come through with that system, and that is again Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Tomorrow, though, another above average day for many parts. Still cool in La Loche, 2 degrees tomorrow, mainly sunny. A mix of sun and cloud for L'Orange at 5 degrees, 7 for Prince Albert, 6 and sunny for Lloydminster, and 7 and sunny for North Battleford. 8 and a mix of sun and cloud for Saskatoon tomorrow. 9 and a mix of sun and cloud for Yorkton. The southwest, same story. 9 for Maple Creek, and Swift current, as we saw on that map, we'll see a little rain coming through tomorrow. And 11 and a mix of sun and cloud for Moose Jaw. Same story. 8 degrees for Assiniboia Weyburn. 7 and cloudy for Estevan. For Regina tonight, dip into 0. 7 is the expected daytime high for us tomorrow with a mix of sun and cloud. And here's a look at your next 7 days. So you can see how it gradually starts to get cooler and cooler as the weekend approaches. So 7 and a mix of sun and cloud tomorrow. Wednesday, sunny and 7, and then we start to see more of that cloud cover rolling in by Thursday. 5 and cloudy. Cloudy remains on Friday at 4 degrees. Saturday, we've got a big game, and it's going to be a little cool. Cloudy conditions, slight chance we could even see some flurries coming through. 0 is the expected daytime high, could possibly dip to about -1. And then as we get into Sunday, we'll see the sun return, but the temperatures continue to be below seasonal. -1 is expected for Sunday, and by Monday, we will see the temperature climb above 0 to 1, but the winds are expected to pick up quite a bit on Monday as well, gusting up to about 55, possibly 60, with a mix of sun and clouds. So the story this week, we're going to start to feel those fall temperatures in the air, those temperatures gradually cooling down. It was bound to happen, but right now, no heavy snowfall. I should knock on wood somewhere. But no heavy snowfall.
I don't know if there's any in the studio.
I know, I just realized that. But as of right now, looking like possibly a little bit of rain, but nothing like some heavy snowfall coming through.
Well, at earliest convenience, we'll see if we can.
Yes, as soon as I run out of the studio, I'll go knock on my desk.
Fantastic. Well, thanks, Sabine. As much as I don't love that -7 on Saturday, we'll see how it does.
You bet.
Well, a Saskatoon couple had to be creative and make alternative arrangements for their wedding when a hurricane devastated their destination in Jamaica. As Carla Shinkaruk tells us, they swapped a beach wedding for a somewhat less scenic location out of necessity.
To be my lawful wedded spouse. To be my lawful wedded spouse.
Newlyweds
newlyweds Jalen and Curtis Leachman were supposed to be saying I do on a sunny beach in Jamaica. But after Hurricane Melissa devastated their wedding destination last week, the Saskatoon couple was forced to come up with a new plan fast.
Oh, it's kind of like, okay, we got it. Let's continue on. And we made the best out of a poor situation, really.
With their November 1st wedding date already embossed on wedding favors, they decided to go ahead with the nuptials on that day anyway.
But we absolutely had no backup plan. We've been to Negril probably 8 or 9 times. We always go at that time of the year. Jamaica hardly ever gets hit with a hurricane, and especially to the devastation that it did this time.
May now kiss your bride.
And this was the new unlikely venue, the Saskatoon Airport. It was 6:30 Saturday morning, right before they boarded a new flight to Mexico, a trip they booked once Jamaica was not possible. They found a justice of the peace through a friend who wasn't sure what to expect when he arrived.
Because I couldn't go past security where there might be a smaller room. And when I got there, they were all happy. They were in beachwear already. So we kind of pretended like it was the beach, I guess.
The Leachmans tied the knot in front of 2 friends and some unlikely wedding guests, airport staff who cheered them on. And since they were eloping, none of their 4 children even knew they were getting married. Until now, when this story airs.
Well, I guess, yeah, we'll see you Sunday, and that's the reason why we're having a big supper.
So the surprises about this wedding will continue on. Carla Shinkaruk, CTV News, Saskatoon.
After the break, the BC Lions move on to the Western Final after a thrilling finish in the semi. We'll get the Lions' share of the details on the Riders' next opponent.
Wardrobe consideration in part by Colin O'Brien Men's Shop.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders have their West Final opponent locked in after the Western semi-final game between Calgary and BC ended on a last-second field goal. Lions quarterback Nathan Rourke throwing for 223 yards, also adding a rushing touchdown on top of that. Robert Carter brought the fans to their feet with an explosive 95-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. That made it 27-14 for the Lions midway through the third quarter. Then in the fourth, with the score tied at 30, Rourke finds former Rider Justin McKinnis over the middle to set up kicker Sean White. With no time left on the clock, he nails a 43-yard field goal to seal the home playoff win for the Lions.
Our expectations for ourselves are the highest ones, right? We're frustrated because we know we can do better. And, at the end of the day, like I said, I'm going to keep giving my props to the special teams and our defense because they lifted us up as they have many times on this winning streak.
That sets the matchup with the Riders in the West Final on Saturday. The winner advancing to the Grey Cup in Winnipeg. Riders return to practice tomorrow. We'll hear plenty from them over the course of the week. Well, many WHL teams are without some of their up-and-coming stars this week as the U17 World Challenge gets underway in Nova Scotia. Team Canada Red started off with a big win over Finland 8-2. Some Saskatchewan names on the score sheet include Estevan's Boston Tate, Nipawin's Blake Chorney, and Regina's Chase Sirkin with 3 points. Team Canada Red opens the tournament tonight against Czechia. Team Canada White, rather. That includes Regina Pats forwards Liam Pugh and Maddox Schultz. The NHLPA's first shift program arrived in Regina on the weekend in hopes of creating more opportunities for kids to play hockey. Recipients of the program were mostly ages 6 to 10, receiving all the gear they needed. Following this, kids can participate in a 6-week training session here in Regina. Well, the celebrations continued in LA today. The Dodgers and their fans parading through downtown Los Angeles as the team marks its 9th World Series championship and 2nd in a row. The Dodgers beating the Toronto Blue Jays in 7 games over the weekend. And it wasn't the storybook ending to the World Series millions of Canadians were hoping for, but the Blue Jays' incredible playoff run has inspired a new generation of young ball players. And come spring, it's expected a wave of new enthusiasts will take up the sport. Here's CTV's John Venevali Rao.
While much of the country was caught up in Blue Jays fever for the last month, for those wanting to make it to the big leagues, the playoff run, regardless of outcome, was hugely inspiring.
It gives me extra motivation to come in here.
This Blue Jays team is like really motivating. Like I'm here just like getting work in, trying to get to another level.
Every kid at this training facility in Burlington, Ontario, has dreams of playing at least college-level baseball in the U.S., and many swinging for the majors, including 11-year-old Mateo, who last week told us he wants to play for the Blue Jays so much, he'd sign with them even if it meant a pay cut.
If I was getting more money somewhere else, I would still want to go to the Jays. I want to play in the Rogers Center.
And facilities like this now anticipating a surge in interest, with the Blue Jays World Series appearance getting more young people excited to play the game.
It grows it. It grows baseball. It makes it where it's real, it's an achievable dream.
Now, according to Baseball Canada, across the country last year, nearly 250,000 Canadians registered to play the sport. After the incredible World Series wins in '92 and '93, more kids started playing baseball. It was the same after the playoff runs in 2015 and 2016. And now another bump is expected in the spring.
It's exciting. I mean, it creates some capacity challenges for us to be able to handle, all the people that want to start to play baseball. But that's a good problem for us to have.
Baseball Canada notes the girls' side of the game has also seen significant growth in recent years. And that, too, could see a boost. And it's hoped, thanks to the interest generated by the Jays, there may be more Canadian stars on the field in the years to come. John Benavalli-Rouse, CTV News, Burlington, Ontario.
Still ahead, police are looking for your help in tracking down 2 suspects accused of using stolen credit and debit cards.
Let's take a look at your rural forecast heading into tomorrow. Many areas still going to see above seasonal temperatures heading into tomorrow. And for the most part, depending on where you are, we will see some sunshine, some a little sooner than others. And let's take a look at what we can expect. A mix of sun and cloud for many parts here. Hudson Bay, Wynyard, Watrous, all seeing a mix of sun and cloud. 8 degrees, 11 in Outlook with a mix of sun and cloud. 9 for Kindersley, 6 for Meadow Lake, and Spiritwood, 7 for Melfort. But Lloydminster seeing most of the sunshine there at 6 degrees with the expected high. And then when we get into southern Saskatchewan here, closer to the southern border, a little bit more cloud cover expected, starting out your day especially, and a little bit of precipitation for areas like Assiniboia and Coronach. A little bit of rain. 8 is the expected high, 11 for Rosetown, 10 for Leader, and 9 for Maple Creek. Meanwhile, Carlisle seeing mostly cloudy conditions along with Rockland, and 7 is the expected high there. If we take a closer look at Hague, where internet speeds up to 1 gig are available through SaskTel, located about 300 kilometers north of Regina, about 15 kilometers north of Saskatoon. 8 is the expected high tomorrow with a mix of sun and cloud. Winds picking up to about 30. That 8 will feel closer to about 5 degrees for the daytime high.
The incidents happened between September the 22nd to October the 12th at several public facilities on the 3000 block of Quant Street East, the 3000 block of Albert Street, and the 2000 block of Victoria Avenue East. A man and a woman were able to steal credit and debit cards at these locations and then use them at local businesses. Suspect number 1 is described as a man heavy-set, wearing a hospital mask, a black NASCAR brand ball cap, a black and camouflage T-shirt, gray shorts, white socks with black Crocs. Suspect number 2 is described as a woman appearing to be about 30 years old. She had longer style black hair and was wearing a black ball cap. She left in a black 4-door BMW from one of the thefts.
I'm Belton Johnson, board member with Regina Crime Stoppers. Did you know Crime Stoppers will pay up to $2,000 cash rewards for information on this or any other serious crime in Regina? Callers do not have to identify themselves. Calls are not traced or recorded. In Regina, Saskatchewan, and Canada, call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. That's 1-800-222-8477. You can also access our website at www.reginacrimestoppers.ca. Remember, our community suffers when you remain silent. Please report crime.
Crime Stoppers is brought to you by Leak Audiology, helping you live well with better hearing.
Saskatoon City Hospital's emergency room was forced to close early yesterday due to staffing issues. The Saskatchewan Health Authority said because of unforeseen physician availability, the ER closed at 3 p.m. That's 6 hours earlier than usual. Patients in need of emergency care were advised to visit St. Paul's or RUH. Let's take a look at your markets. The TSX was up a little over 14 points to 30,275. The Dow Jones down about 226 to 47,336. The Canadian dollar was down slightly today to 71.15 US. As for commodities, gold was down $1.50 an ounce to just over the $4,000 mark. West Texas Intermediate crude was up slightly, about 7 cents to $61.05 per barrel. Western Canadian Select crude up close to 50 cents to $48.69 per barrel. Gas prices in Regina, the most common you'll find is about $128.9. The lowest you'll see is $105.9.
Kenvue is a company being bought by Kimberly-Clark. Shares of Kenvue have been dragged down for weeks by Donald Trump's false claim that using Tylenol during pregnancy causes autism. But those shares gained today. Kimberly-Clark will pay a premium for Kenvue. Kimberly-Clark owns brands like Kleenex and Huggies and expects to save $2 billion a year once the deal settles. An American mining company is buying a Canadian mining firm, New Gold. It's a U.S. $7 billion deal. New Gold owns mines in Ontario and BC. Together, the companies will have 7 operations able to produce 1.25 million ounces of gold next year. Lenders are taking over Chorus Entertainment. Global TV and other specialty channels have been owned by the Shaw family for decades, but in this new agreement, creditors will own 99% of Chorus shares. The company has been losing a battle to compete with streaming services. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
All right, coming up tonight on CTV, we have 2 episodes of St. Denis Medical. That show is back, followed by The Voice at 8, then The Weakest Link and Tracker. Then, of course, your local news at 11:30 with Connor Chan coming up a little later on.
That's right.
And nominations are now open for the Regina Citizen of the Year presented by CTV. The Citizen of the Year award is given each year to an individual who exemplifies excellence in community service and is making a difference in our community. To find out more about how to nominate someone, guides are available here at CTV Regina or through our website. The deadline to submit your nomination is Friday, December 5th. Then we'll announce this year's recipient on December 31st. More than 10 years after they last came to Edmonton, AC/DC is returning to Commonwealth Stadium.
I'm tired just watching that. The Rock Legends last played Commonwealth Stadium in 2015. The band is bringing its Power Up tour to Edmonton on August 9th, 2026. Tickets go on sale this Friday. AC/DC have been making music together since 1973, and this tour is in support of the band's last studio album, which was released in 2020.
Also the closest stop to Saskatchewan on this tour.
Noted.
Did the math. Minneapolis was close, but...
All right, well, while the Blue Jays may have lost the World Series, one of their fans ended up winning the biggest 50-50 jackpot in baseball history, Cole.
A man known only as Eric from Oshawa took home the grand prize of $25,010,057. The Jays Care Foundation announced the winner this morning. The rest of the funds will support baseball programs for kids in First Nations communities, as well as those with physical and cognitive disabilities. Of course, Jays Care have some activities here in Saskatchewan as well. I didn't realize that the full amount was that's what you were getting.
Can you imagine?
Wow.
We're just going to imagine what that feels like.
Just imagine.